Hi, welcome back. I'm Gypsy Jean. If this is your first time, hello. Thank you for stopping by my channel, and I really appreciate it. I hope you learned something from it and you enjoy it, and you're free to contact me, make comments on whatever other topic you would like to have a conversation about. If this is not your first time and you have watched my videos before and you're a subscriber, thank you. I really appreciate it. Welcome back. Okay. This topic may make you feel some kind of way. Get your mind right, because this is going to be heavy and a little deep. Alright? And if it does not have an awesome reaction for you, and you feel some kind of way in a bad way, sit with it afterwards. Think about it and research, okay? It's my truth and my experience. And I've learned it the hard way. And if it doesn't set right with you, do some research and find your version of the truth. But this is just another level of knowledge that you're taking a trip with me on, okay? And today's topic is God and the other side. What happens before you come here and when you leave, and in between. And it's going to probably be a longer one than normal, but it's a lot to cover. All right. You getting ready? You ready? Your mind right? You ready? Okay, here we go. God is a pure energy form, and it's just endless light, okay? It's pure, unadulterated love, and that's it. It's just a pure energy form of love, okay? And it looks like a giant, endless wall of white light. When you're in your spirit form, you can obviously interact with it, talk to it, whatever, because we're a piece of it. But we're a tiny, tiny spark riding around in a meat suit, okay? And this meat suit is not dialed in for pure, unadulterated, unfiltered, celestial contact, okay? This is a barrier for us, okay? And we've picked this barrier, and this is where it's coming into what would happen before we get here. All right, if you can imagine standing in front of eye-level baseball field or football field lights, the huge spotlights that just burn your cornea and your retinas. That's a human form of it, okay? But never ending. But that's what it's kind of like. You're a tiny spark, doop, that comes just out of this little white light, like a little candle flame. All right, and you sit down. All of us that are human beings, especially watching this video, you sit down with counselors and people that have, or spirits, let's just say spirits, that have agreed to be your soul family and your spirit guides in this incarnation. Because I'm going to just put it straight up to you right now, Earth is the master level school. If you come here, you're doing hard time. This is like Alcatraz, okay, of the reincarnation world. This is the hardest one you can go through. And people, you make a contract of what your advancement you want on your spirit, like you're going to college, okay? I'm going to do bachelor's degree in being a drug addict or whatever. Yes, the horrible things that we go through are included in this plan, believe it or not. I know that sounds retarded. This might put up your defenses, but it's true, okay? Now, when you see someone that's going through a major struggle or was born with less than perfect odds to start out, that's a master advanced level spirit, okay? Excuse me. So, let's just pick autism, because we're all understanding autism better. There's many variations on it. There are non-communicative autism. There is, oh God, the spectrum's huge. There's Asperger's, okay? That is an advanced soul. Not only did they pick the hardest school and the worst kind of meat suit to float around in, they picked for the meat suit, I wouldn't say damaged, because I'm not harsh. I love everyone and I appreciate people that are different. You have no idea how much I love people that are different. I do. I'm a magnet for them, and they're a magnet for me. But they picked, say you go to a car lot and you pick the most expensive one because you want to have a cushy, nice, soft ride because the lesson's going to be rough already, okay? You're traveling down a horrible road, so you pick up the 4-wheeler or the 4x4. And someone else is like, I think Mom will do it the roughest way possible because I want to make sure I learn it all real hard, like every bump and every ditch and every puddle, and I'm going to dig my way out of every one of them. So you pick the one that has the least amount of protection, that doesn't drive smoothly or correctly, and you have to struggle with it to keep it on the road, okay? So those people are masters. I would say master souls, maybe not, but they're a higher level and more advanced because they started hard. It's already hard if you have the perfect ride, if you have the greatest meat suit on the planet to pick out. It's hard already, but they started hard, okay? Let that sink in. All right, so you agree this is what we're going to do. And the reason why you pick it so hard, because that's part people like, oh no, I didn't pick this. This is ridiculous. I would never want to struggle like this. Yes, you did. And this is why. Over there, everything is perfect. You are living in pure love 24/7. There's nothing but that. There's no anger, jealousy, stress, pain, sickness, nothing. It's just, oh, you know, all the time, 24/7. Everybody's great. All the time. We have nothing here that compares to that. None of our drugs get even close. It gives you a small, tiny taste, but nothing like that. So you're like, yeah, I'm gonna, like me, oh, I'm gonna have the worst meat suit ever. It's gonna hurt all the time, and it's gonna be really anxious all the time. And not only that, I'm gonna deal with everybody else's meat suit problems because I want to feel what they're feeling too. And I want to just take it all the time. You think I really want that? And I didn't have the best childhood either, okay? And yes, when I started thinking about this and learning it, I'm like, oh, there's no way I would have picked this. No, I would be super rich and travel the world giving lectures and riding in a Cadillac and have driver. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying, it seems a lot. That's a lot. But we don't realize how hard it's going to be because it's not like that over there. And we don't have this body to trap us. We're just, you know, chilling in our little spirit forms. And it's all cool. So everybody, all right, pack your bags. Everybody on the bus. Here we go. Your soul family, because time is not linear when you're not in the physical body. Your soul family could be people that are 80 to 7. Or newborns, or your mom and dad, your brother, sister, aunt and uncles, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. They're part of your soul families. We all come together and we influence each other's lessons and we learn things from each other, okay? Here's a good example. Say your son is a heroin addict, okay? Has been for years, and it's been a battle, and it's very stressful, and you see them tearing themselves down. Okay. Yes, when other people are suffering, it hurts us. They don't see that because they're suffering and they're on their own little world. But that's their lesson that they need to go through to advance their soul level. They may never make it and they may die from it. And of course, we're suffering because we're left behind. We're the ones watching them. And all kinds of things happen to us about how selfish are you? You're destroying your body. You're losing your kids, your house, your wife. You know, and then we want to help them. But there's a point in our soul plan and their soul plan that if we keep interfering, we're not only enabling, but we are stopping their advancement in their lesson. So there's a point in other people's sufferings you cannot interfere with because you have to let them want it, to change it, to be done with that lesson, because it won't stop until they learn what they needed to learn in that particular situation to go on. And of course, like I said earlier, we don't realize how hard it's going to be. So some of them don't live through it. They never fix it or change. And maybe that is the way they're supposed to be. Maybe they're supposed to suffer their whole life. That's their soul plan. We're only here to help them and learn too. Now, from watching them or the devastation that may happen to us personally, these are our lessons that we're learning to advance our spirit, okay? We take this knowledge back, integrated it to the Godhead, Godlight, whatever. You know, it's like information back and forth out of a computer. Their souls right now learn how to cure AIDS. Take the knowledge back over, and if they come back in this life, there you go. Or it'll bring back with someone else. Or they're here now and they learn it, but of course, you know, that's a whole nother topic, being repressed. But they have to go through some damage to get to that point, to advance, to get that knowledge, you get what I'm saying? It's a school. Okay, we're going through a school. We picked the roughest, hardest school to actually do, but this is what this life is. It's school. Now, when you pass away, yes, for the living, funerals are for the living because the dead are gone. And when you die, you shrug this meat suit off. No matter how you die, it's a release. It's lovely. And I have to watch out wishing that I could go because obviously my time's not done yet and I still got stuff to do. But I'm like, oh, God, it's so tight and heavy in here. I'm so uncomfortable. I don't want to be in here no more. Okay, I'm done. Can we go home now? But it's our lessons. Now, people have a hard time struggling with spirituality because what happens after you die? If there's a God, why are there so many horrible things happening in the world? And just a lot of us forget why we're here as soon as we go in this meat suit because it's a huge block. And it's another part of our learning. Like if you go into space, you have to wear a spacesuit. The spacesuit is not comfortable at all. And if you spend a long time in it, of course, you're going to have difficulty with it. The same thing here. And no, in a spacesuit, like if you were in a spacesuit, you won't be able to feel the environment around you. It's a different experience. It's a block, okay? For your safety, because we can't really float around on Earth in our spirit form for very long and accomplish anything, if you've noticed. Yeah, so there we go with that. And you say, I have a friend, and I'm empathic, and I'm very connected, so suffering of any kind affects me very deeply. So when I see things like what's happening in Myanmar, the natural disasters, people starving on other continents, yes, that affects me. Yes, I hate it. Yes, I try whatever small way I can to help it. But you say, well, if there is a God, then so-and-so wouldn't have died, or it wouldn't have been that way, or these people wouldn't be starving or suffering. Okay, let me refer back to the advanced life forms, okay? The people that are starving and in those horrible war-torn countries are advanced spirits, and they are taking the hardest course. And look up Malala Yousafzai, Malala, M-A-L-A. Yeah, that's how it sounds. Okay, that's how it's spelled, I believe. She got shot in the face as a child because she said that children and little girls should be able to get an education. They should be able to go to school. Okay. She did not switch into victim modality like a lot of people do. And she just used that as a flame to just skyrocket through humanity. And she is building schools and waging a war on human rights. And this little girl is just blowing it up. Okay? And she's living in those type of situations that most of us that are watching this video, we wouldn't have any idea what it was like. We wouldn't know how we would cope. That's horrible. Oh, we should send in the military, or whatever. And that's a higher life form, okay? You and me and the planet as a whole, when something catastrophic happens, it's like banging the gong. It is our destruction to ascension. All birth is painful. There's yin and yang in everything in life. There's bad with good no matter what you do. When the earth level rises up and we have a wave of ascension and the vibration of the planet goes up, human beings die en masse. Horrible things like break out, wars, destruction, because it's a birth pain. Like when you go to build a new house, if there's an old raggedy one there, you have to destroy it and tear it down completely and wipe it out to build another one. You understand? So there's destruction in birth. If you've had kids, you know what I mean, okay? Birth is destructive and it is painful, and that is what's happening. So when there's a mass catastrophic event, that is a wake-up call. Without that happening, we would continue the same way we're going right now, which is we're trying to kill and poison each other on a daily basis. That is a wake-up call, and if that doesn't happen, then we don't take notice. Okay, we don't wake up. People will just coast along in their meat suit until it wears out and it's time to go back home, and then they have to repeat the lessons because they didn't wake up and see what was going on around them. And you have events in your mind that you're thinking of right now that goes along with what I'm saying. And it sounds really messed up, I'm sure, to some of you. Others are like, oh, okay, I get it. If I hadn't had the experience I had in my life, I wouldn't be where I am now. Horrible things have happened to me that have brought me up another level and have helped me use it as a teaching tool for you. And a lot of my information came from dying myself 3-4 times now. Like, I'm a dead. I'm not talking about near-death experience. Oh, it's science this and brain blast function firing off synapse. No, I went over. And I've learned, I've astral projected. I've gone in and out of the body just to visit, just to see other people. And, you know, I've actually floated over a family reunion in my area and thought I was dreaming. And those people came into where I work the next day to go shopping. And they're like, I know you. I saw you. Oh my God. Really? Yeah, so. Yeah, I've had horrible things happen to me and my family and people I've loved, and it was devastating, and I didn't want to be here anymore. And my poor mom, for months on one particular instance, whew, and they thought they lost me a few other times because my meat suit has medical problems. But, you know, we all do eventually, I guess. And I learned from that. I'm like, I know how you feel. I have been there. So I can actually communicate with you on the understanding level of pain so that I can help you heal. And so I can teach others. And so I can be like, oh, you know, who cares if I only got lunch meat for a week? I died. You know what I'm saying? I'm still making the sandwich. You know? Or you see petty things like money. Yeah, I got enough to barely survive, and I don't care. And everybody's like, money, gotta chase that dollar, gotta work all these overtime, and gotta, you know, all this. I'm like, psh, I got a roof, I got clothes, I got food, I got a vehicle, I'm rich. I got fantastic people I love in my life. All else don't mean nothing to me. I don't need to be rich in the bank. I'd love to, because I could teach more and help more. But you get what I'm saying. It's the point. It puts things into perspective. A lot of people and soldiers that have been in war, they come back with PTSD because we are programmed to be empathetic with each other, and they see horrible things that damage them. And some, again, stay in it and can't move past it. And some get counseling, or it puts everything in perspective. Petty things in their life, like that we think are big deals, they don't care. It is totally petty compared to where they've been and where they come back. This is a cake. You get what I'm saying? The stuff you're stressing over now, you would think is really trivial if you had been where you just had to kill people, or you saw people killed and blown up in front of you. You understand? It's horrible and traumatic that I bring it up, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to trigger anyone, honestly, but there's perspective, okay? So all of these things you go through and the world goes through is for us to experience, learn from it, elevate from it, teach, pass on, make our world a better place, take what our advancement is, maybe come back, go to a different whatever, you know. And some people will travel back and forth with you through different lifetimes. I met my husband from a previous lifetime. That was wild. You get what? And I hope I'm making sense. I do go on tangents and I do ramble, and there's a lot to take in right now, but I'm just letting you know, God is pure energy and love, okay? It is not male or female. It can be. And we have different types of gods on this planet because that is a human interpretation of specific groups on how we communicated with it. It does not care how you label it. It just, as long as there's a relationship, because it's your parent. It's what you're from, okay? So, no, this energy source does not destroy things on purpose. It's an energy source, what you're from, okay? There's angels and spirit guides and twin flames and spirit groups, soul groups, whatever you want to call it. This is a lot of good stuff to research on to get more understanding. But no, it's not like a lot of people have fights about that, and that like you're going to hell if you are a sinner, but we're all sinners, etc. and so on. You know, if that's your spiritual path, I don't want to degrade it in any way. Whatever works for you, as long as it keeps you elevating and, you know, growing, that's awesome, okay? But the problem I do have is when people say, he is going to torture you for the rest of eternity because you stole a candy bar, or you committed adultery, or you're an alcoholic, or... You get what I'm saying? That ain't what it's about. That's on us. That's our life plan. That's what we did to ourselves. And it's screwed up, but if you think about it, you know what I'm saying? And no,